The evolution of the C4000 is quite the story to tell. My name is John Cosker. I'm the owner of Mystic Powerboats. We're here in DeLand, Florida at our home base. Back in 2017, 2018, we kind of saw the evolution of the outboard cat coming around. We hadn't really jumped into it yet. We had really just introduced our 44-foot stern drive cat at that point. Everybody said that we needed to have a smaller version of the 50, so we built that boat, and our timing was perfectly wrong, where the outboard market was coming around, the stern drive market was dying off, so we sold about 5 of the 44s. It was a good boat, it ran well, and then we have a long-term customer named Slug Hefner. Everybody knows the Dirty Duck boats up on Lake of the Ozarks. Slug had one of our 50-footers that we built for him, loved the boat. He wanted to build a mini version of that boat. He wanted to build an outboard version, something a little bit easier to use up on Lake of the Ozarks. You know, the 50 is a big boat, and he wanted just a little day boat to run around a little bit easier with. So he was going to actually buy another brand because we didn't have an outboard boat at that point. So he called me one day and he said, okay, you know, if I have someone else build the hull and deck, can I bring it to you and basically put the Mystic seats in it, put the Mystic colors on it, make it look like a mini version of my 50? And Slug, being a great customer, he said, you know, we'll do whatever you want, Slug. You know, if that's what you want, then we'll do it. And I do a lot of my design thinking in the shower, and I was actually in the shower next day thinking of Slug Hefner for some reason. And I came up with the idea, if we took our 44 and we don't have to fit the stern drives in anymore, so we can basically wedge the deck, cut the back out of it, rotate it down, bolt some outboards to it, we've got an outboard cat. It's a pretty fast way to the market. So that's where it started. Got out of the shower, changed quickly, and went downstairs and drew the boat. Did a couple renderings, did some profile views of the boat, sent it to Slug. He said, okay, let's go. So then it was, okay, how do we do this? There was a lot of, you know, going out into the boat and figuring out seating and stuff like that. And, you know, we wanted to build something a little bit different. You know, everybody's got the 6-pack boat, I call it, in the outboard cats. You know, you have 4 seats in the back, you have 2 seats in the front. You know, brands have added more seats to it, but it's basically the same boat. It's the same boat since the 80s. So we took a lot of what we learned in our center consoles as being really usable boats, and I looked at it as, okay, we've got the big engines out of the way, we can put walkways to the back of the boat, we can put a real lounger in it, we can do things that nobody's really done with a cat before, make it more usable, because now you've got these really, really reliable Mercury outboards on the back that you want to really be able to go places and go distances and things like that. So that's where it started out, and really the 38 had probably the longest evolution of any product we have ever brought to market. You know, like when we built the 50, it had a couple changes to it where, you know, we built a 6-man enclosed canopy, we built a 6-man open canopy, but it wasn't what the 38, you know, went from and what's become now. So we built 8 of the 38s, and then at that point we were really seeing that the outboard market had taken hold. You know, everybody was fully in it. It was a very strong market. The stern drive market was really, really falling off at that point. So, okay, let's dedicate ourselves to this. So we literally cut the back of the mold off on the 44. Did away with our stern drive days. That was that point right there where we weren't building stern drive boats anymore. We were an outboard boat company. Created a new back of the mold on the boat, so we had our notch in there. We had the mounting surfaces for the outboards. We had our little tail for the walkout transom that we were having on the boat, and that's when the 38 became the 40. So it was basically at that point we had the same full running surface as the 44 had on it. And then we had our addition to it. So we came out with a full 40-foot boat at that point. It wasn't 38 anymore. And then we ended up building about another dozen of those. And as happenstance, Slug Hefner had the last one of the old style 40s, which was the first generation of it. So we were seeing still that market was getting more popular. We could sell more boats into that market. We wanted to build more a year. We were consistently doing 6, maybe 7 a year. We wanted to be able to produce more of those boats. So in 22, took on the design of a brand new deck for the 40, calling it the next generation 40 outboard cat. Basically kind of just polished what we had. Everything worked. The old version was an easy boat to build because we were taking the 44 deck, we were kind of fitting it all together. It was a lot of labor for the guys in the shop. So we wanted to first make it a lot more production friendly. We wanted to add some new features, things we liked and wanted to improve upon on the boat. And then just get a little bit better finish on the boat because we'd be coming out of a brand new mold. So finished the design, we expanded on the cockpit, quite a bit bigger. Slug, actually, he just put an order in for a new G2 cap as he has sold his old one. So he came down and he was very complimentary on how much bigger the cockpit was on the boat, much easier to get into the front seats, a lot more room to move around inside of it. We moved the back lounger back a little bit to get some more leg room in the boat. We can add a 7th seat into the cockpit now because it's bigger. So that was kind of the biggest change. We still retain the walkways around the outside. A lot lower profile boat. We cut quite a bit out of the deck on the boat, lowered it down, extended the tunnel forward to optimize performance on the boat. So, now we had something that was a brand new boat that still kind of resembled what our old boat was. When we were developing the 52, we started working with Advanced Marine Glass out of South Florida, and they did the windshield on the 52-footer. And Rick Townsend, the owner of that company, was here one day, and he actually has one of our cats on order now, but he started talking about, why are you using acrylics on the windshield? Why can't we do glass? And I said, well, you tell me, why can't we do glass? So we were the first ones to actually do safety rated glass on a outboard cat, or on any catamaran in general for that matter. So, now you don't have the acrylics that'll wear out, they'll craze, they'll yellow, they scratch easily, things like that. We actually have like a car windshield on this boat now, so it's really durable. We can build it to different tints. We can actually tint the windshield if somebody wanted to get a darker tint or a lighter tint, things like that. So very, very adjustable on that side. Performance, when we first launched the first 38, I think Ryan and I put it in the water on Lake Monroe, and I think the first pass was about 88 miles an hour. The boat was heavy. The old inline 400s at that point, they were wheezing pretty hard with that boat. So it wasn't the most thrilling boat to drive, and Mercury with their constant improvements. Then it went to a 450, the boat woke up a little bit more, then we went to a full carbon boat woke up a little bit more, and now we've gone to the new 500s on a carbon boat that's cut down, better aerodynamics, and we've added about 40 miles an hour to that old top speed that boat did the first time in the water. So, now we have a boat that handles great, handles rough water. We haven't lost any of those qualities in the 40. We've got the owner's run coming up in about a month or so now, and we actually have 4 of the outboard cats coming to the Bahamas with us. So they're a great ocean going boat, very comfortable for people with the big windshield on. It's very comfortable inside. So I'm really, really pleased with this model. I think it's got a lot of longevity going forward now. Hopefully the evolution will continue, but here at Mystic, we really do believe that this boat has been an evolution that's come from a racing heritage. It's born from performance, but we've built a lot of luxury into this boat, and we really believe that it'll be an impactful product for years to come in this market.